This is my story, a simple one, about how I, a normal college student named Liam, ended up in a complicated relationship with a successful woman named Elena. Most people who knew about my connection to Elena were probably jealous. They saw me as incredibly lucky, but they didn't understand the true nature of my time with her. It was straightforward, really. We met in hotel rooms, like room 2101. When she called, I went to her. We also met at my small apartment. When she called, I went to her. Beyond those meetings, there was nothing. Tonight, after one of our intense times together, she suddenly asked me, "Do you know Marcus?" "He's a classmate of mine. Why do you ask?" I said. "Send me his phone number," Elena requested, holding a thin cigarette and speaking in a calm, flat voice. "I want to try to get his attention." I looked at Elena, confused. "You want to pursue him?" "Why wouldn't I?" she replied. "What about me?" I blurted out. Elena gave me a smile right after. It was beautiful, but had a hidden, cold sharpness to it. Her eyes were completely distant. "Liam, don't be foolish. You didn't genuinely believe that I would start having real feelings for you over time, did you?" Her words brought me back to reality. Yes, I was with Elena because I was trying to correct a big mistake from my past. It wasn't about dating her. I knew deep down she would never fall in love with me. Once I cleared my head, I nodded. "Of course. I'll send it to you right now. Do you want me to organize a dinner for you two?" Hearing this, Elena's expression became even colder. She didn't look happy. She threw me out of the hotel room. She even tossed my clothes out the door. I was already used to her sudden changes in mood, so I just picked up my jacket from the carpet and put it on. As I was leaving the big building where she stayed sometimes, I saw a good-looking man. He was dressed fashionably, but was being stopped by the security guards at the main gate. "I need to speak to Elena. Elena, it's me." I vaguely remembered him. He was a minor actor. I had seen him at a recent dinner with Elena. She had smiled at him a few times and said some kind words, and he clearly became infatuated with her. Too bad Elena didn't care at all. She wouldn't even look his way again. The man turned his face toward me. "It's you again. You're just a struggling college kid, yet you cling to Elena like a parasite." I wasn't angry. I just gave a slight, knowing smile. "Elena has incredible endurance and skills, you know. You haven't experienced that, have you?" With that, I walked away for good. All I could hear behind me was his loud, frustrated shouting. I truly understood his frustration. Elena was captivating, like a mythic creature. Just a slight tilt of her head, a small curve of her lips, and she could completely charm you. It was unfortunate that she seemed to be a cold-hearted person. No, actually, she did have kindness once, but I had destroyed it with my own actions. Elena and I went to the same schools from middle school onward, but we were never friends. I was always the best student in the class, a favorite of the teachers. Elena was the opposite, rebellious, often skipping class, and a smoker. The only notable thing about her was her strikingly attractive face. Because of that face, Elena became well known in our small southern town. For a long time, we were like two separate lines that would never meet. That changed in our junior year of high school, when our paths finally crossed. That year, my mother, who was my only family, was diagnosed with a very advanced stage of cancer. All of our limited savings quickly went into medical bills. It wasn't nearly enough to cover everything. My mother's health was getting worse. One Christmas Eve, she suddenly told me she really wanted a chocolate cake. I went to a nearby convenience store and was shocked by the price of that particular cake. I simply couldn't afford it. The school was also constantly pressuring me to pay for my textbooks, which I had been putting off. I wasn't even sure I would have enough money for lunch the next day. But this was my mother's wish. So I made a terrible decision. I was going to steal it. At first, everything went smoothly. With the cake box hidden under my arm, I nervously headed for the exit. Then I heard someone call my name. Liam? The sound of their voice was so pleasant it almost made me stop in my tracks. Knowing what I was doing, I didn't dare turn around. Elena walked up to me, carrying a shopping bag. "It is you. I thought I had the wrong person when you didn't answer." My palms were sweaty, and I asked distractedly, "Do I know you?" She paused, then said, "I'm Elena. Are you here to buy something?" "No, just looking around." "Oh, there's something I wanted to give you," she said. "What is it?" Elena handed me a pink letter. I was too stressed to think about what it could be and just shoved it into my pocket. As soon as I reached the exit, the terrible thing I had been dreading happened. The security sensors blared loudly. At the exact same time, a staff member shouted, "We're missing a cake!" Suddenly, everyone in the store was staring at us. "It has to be you two! Cake thieves!" Elena, who was quick to anger, snapped back, "Shut up! Who would want your stupid cake?" I could feel the cake box nearly crushed in my pocket. What was I going to do now? If I got caught, I would lose even the small allowance I was supposed to receive next month. My mother was still in the hospital. She needed treatment. I still had to pay for my school books and class fees. I couldn't even afford food now. Debt collectors might show up at any time. One after another, these enormous burdens completely crushed the life of a 16-year-old boy that should have been carefree. So, I made the decision that I regret more than anything else. In the confusion, I quickly and secretly slipped the cake box into Elena's shopping bag. The manager came over to check us. When the manager opened her bag, Elena looked completely shocked. "It wasn't you who stole it? There's no cake on your receipt. How did it get there?" "I didn't steal it. Ask him, Liam. You were right in front of me at the checkout. You saw I didn't take the cake." The manager turned to me. "Son, tell us what happened. Don't be scared." My heart sank lower and lower. I reluctantly nodded. It was her. I feel like I will never be able to forget the look on Elena's face then. The store staff kept her there. Until I left, she hadn't said another word, but her eyes stayed fixed on my back, cold and sharp. It made me feel like I was running away from something terrible. I got back to the hospital, and my whole body was still shaking. I sat frozen the entire night, overwhelmed with regret. I knew I should have gone to the police to explain. Elena was not a thief. I was. But I didn't go. That night, my mother passed away. She never got to eat the chocolate cake she had wanted so badly. After taking care of her funeral, a few days passed. I immediately went to find Elena to apologize. I planned to apologize and then go with her to the police station to clear up everything. Yes, that was the plan. But when I got to her classroom door, her classmate said, "You looking for Elena? She's gone." "What?" "She got caught stealing, and her dad almost beat her to death. You know her dad, right? He's a really harsh guy. He nearly beat her unconscious, caused a huge scene, and got Elena expelled after all that." "It was that serious?" "Yeah." My classmate gave me a strange look. She used to just be a slacker, but now her reputation is ruined. The school definitely doesn't want her around anymore. "Do you know where she went?" "No idea, but I heard she moved to another city." I went to the police station again, but no matter how I tried to explain the situation, the adults didn't believe me. Elena had already confessed to everything. She owned up to the theft clearly and completely. The officer with the hat joked, "Are you two in some kind of dramatic teenage love story? That's not a good idea, you know. If your girlfriend makes a mistake, she needs to face the consequences herself. But young people like you sometimes act foolishly, trying to take the blame for your girlfriend. That's quite romantic. But I advise you to break up with her. If she's already stealing before she's legally an adult, she has serious character issues." I stumbled home in a daze. From my coat pocket, the letter I had forgotten fell out. It was a love letter. A love letter from Elena to me. Now, Elena has become a genuinely powerful and successful person. After being expelled, no other school wanted to take her. She worked hard on her own and built her way up from nothing. She reached her current position through sheer determination. She has never hidden her past. When reporters ask, she casually replies, "Yes, I didn't finish high school." About 6 months ago, we crossed paths again. She was smoking, smiling in a way that seemed mischievous. "In grad school now? No surprise, you were always the good student." That comment about being the good student made my face burn with shame. The next weekend, I set up a dinner and introduced Marcus to Elena. Marcus was the most popular guy at school, like a campus heartthrob. He was very interested in Elena. He spent 2 hours getting ready for the dinner. The moment he walked into the private dining room, I saw Elena's eyes narrow slightly. "What are you studying?" "Finance." "No wonder you have that distinguished air about you." Marcus gave a shy smile. I had only heard Elena's name in the news before. I couldn't believe we're the same age, and she's already so successful. Hearing that, Elena gave a faint smile and pulled out a chair for him herself. "I just started working earlier than all of you." They chatted easily and happily. I sat in the corner farthest from Elena. Her eyes didn't land on me again. Elena had also brought a few of her female friends. One of them suddenly said, "Hey, don't you think Marcus and Liam look kind of similar?" As soon as that was said, everyone started sizing us up. "You're right. There is a resemblance." Marcus's face turned sour. Elena noticed right away and stood up for him. "Are you all blind? Skinny Liam compared to Marcus?" Marcus let out a deep breath, and his smile returned. I looked down meekly, pretending I hadn't heard anything. But then, my phone rang, interrupting my quiet moment. I glanced at the caller ID and excused myself from the room. "Hello, Dr. Harris?" "Liam, when are you finally planning on coming in for the checkup? Are you trying to die?" The voice on the other end sounded annoyed. "I've never seen a patient like you, treating cancer like it's just a common cold." "Sorry, Dr. Harris. I'm not planning to come in." "Why? You just want to give up?" "Pretty much." "Listen, thyroid cancer moves very slowly. With the right checkups and treatment, there's over a 90% chance of curing it. But what about that remaining 10%? Why do you always assume you're in that 10%? Because my mother was." Dr. Harris suddenly fell silent. Cancer often runs strongly in families. When they found out I had the same illness as my mother, I had already made up my mind. No treatment. I have no family and no money. Maybe dying would just be a relief. "Then get here promptly, do the checkup, stop putting it off," Dr. Harris strongly advised. "Thanks, Doc." I hung up the phone and suddenly sensed someone standing behind me. Elena had come out without me noticing and was standing right there. "Who were you talking to?" "A friend." "Your friend is a doctor? Are you sick?" "Just a small cold." I hoped she hadn't heard anything important. Thankfully, Elena didn't seem suspicious. She gave a small, light laugh. "You just need medicine for a cold. No need to call a doctor." I didn't know what to say and couldn't argue back. Luckily, she didn't press me further and just went back inside to spend time with Marcus. The day I decided to stop seeking treatment, I realized there was one thing I still needed to do. I wanted to make amends with Elena. The look on her face in the supermarket 6 years ago kept appearing in my dreams, deeply disturbing me. So I reached out to her, apologized, and offered to work for her. I didn't mention my illness. She casually said, "Anything I ask?" "Yes." "Then take off your clothes." I hesitated for exactly 3 seconds before starting to unbutton my shirt. Her expression changed. She gripped my chin, suddenly angry. Are you actually undressing? Her grip hurt, but I didn't stop. From that night on, Elena showed me all her anger. She was rough, biting, and using strange ways to torment me. And I, no matter how hard it was, went whenever she called, enduring everything. As long as she could let out her bitterness. I didn't go back into the dining room. I went straight back to my school dorm. I figured Elena wouldn't call me again that night. To my surprise, Marcus didn't stay with her either. When he came back, he was carrying one of the gifts Elena had given him. A chocolate cake. It was much bigger and far more expensive than the one I had stolen all those years ago. Elena said to share a piece with you. Marcus glanced at me. Do you want some? I shook my head. I don't like chocolate cake. That's what I told her too, Marcus said. He was playing with the expensive watch Elena had gifted him, completely in love with it. Oh, by the way, she asked me to give you this. It was my backpack. I must have forgotten it in Elena's car. As soon as I took the bag, it felt different. Unzipping it, I found several boxes of cold medicine. I was still stunned when I heard Marcus say, Liam, I've actually heard rumors about you and her. I don't really care, because I know a woman like her can't have a simple past. You're history now, so keep your distance from her in the future. I simply nodded, agreeing with him. But Marcus didn't know that the distance between Elena and me wasn't set by me. It was Elena who decided everything. The next day, it was pouring rain. I left my apartment without an umbrella. A familiar red sports car stopped next to me. The window rolled down, and there was Elena, looking somewhat upset. Didn't you see my text message? I saw it. She had texted me 3 hours ago, asking me to meet her that night. Why didn't you answer? I just didn't feel like it. The car door swung open, and she pulled me inside. Liam, you're getting bold now, making me come to find you. Today's meeting spot was a hotel. Elena loved to change the location. Her apartments, the city's best hotels, and even her car. We had been everywhere. Today, it was a new hotel, on the top floor with big floor-to-ceiling windows. The storm outside was loud, hitting the glass intensely. Elena grabbed my chin and kissed me fiercely, just like usual. But I wasn't really engaging. Elena, calm down. Think about Marcus. Marcus? She paused for a second. Oh, right, I remember now. Is that why you didn't reply? If you're going to pursue him, treat him with respect. You're defending him, but he hasn't said much good about you. That's not my concern. I just want a clean conscience. Clean conscience? Elena laughed. Her laugh was full of mockery. I knew I was the last person in her life who had the right to use those words. Elena pushed me onto the bed. Liam, I'm not so desperate that I jump into bed with someone after only one meeting. Oh, really? But the first day we reunited, we were at it intensely for 2 hours straight. I didn't say it out loud, but Elena could read it in my eyes. Irritated, she bit my shoulder, muttering, Focus. She started kissing me from my shoulder, slowly moving lower, and quickly reached the intimate parts, moving into the routine as if she had done it 1,000,000 times. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. Loud and urgent. Elena was extremely annoyed. Go away! Boss, it's urgent. We found a hospital report. Go away! It's a cancer report. The assistant quickly changed his tactic, saying it had fallen out of Liam's bag. The door swung open. Elena snatched the report. She checked it over and over, her hand shaking. I calmly said, This isn't mine. The top left corner of the report was torn off, exactly where the patient's name should have been. If it isn't yours, how did it end up in your bag? Maybe the hospital made a mistake. I quickly fumbled in my bag and found the missing piece of paper. It fit the report perfectly, completing it. See? The patient's name isn't mine. Finally, Elena breathed a sigh of relief and threw the report into the trash. But Elena didn't know that if she had just glanced deeper into my bag, she would have found another report with my name on it, a report that was even worse than the one she threw away. That day at the hospital, there was a printer problem, and the report for the previous patient came out too. I had just tossed it into my bag without thinking. See? I knew you couldn't be that sick. After the brief scare, Elena returned to her usual detached manner. Liam, you have a debt to settle with me. Did you think you could just die on me? Not a chance. What if I really am sick? Impossible. I mean, if I were... Elena gripped my jaw tight, full of malice, and interrupted. Then you're faking it. I wouldn't believe a word of it. This wasn't surprising from Elena. She hated me, and maybe she would even be happier if I were gone. For the next few days, Elena didn't contact me, but Marcus was out and about a lot. Every time he came back, he looked thrilled and was wearing a new watch. I didn't need to guess who gave it to him. I didn't feel much about any of this. I suppose when you are waiting to die, you just become numb. I didn't see Elena for half a month. A high school classmate of mine came to the city for business and arranged a dinner. Elena hosted it, inviting a lot of people. Marcus came as her date, and I was only invited because I knew the classmate who arranged the dinner. Her name was Kathy, and she was Elena's high school desk mate. When we met, she walked straight over to me. Liam, long time no see. Yeah, it certainly has been a while. I heard you're doing online content creation now. That's great. Well, compared to Elena, I'm nothing. Back then you were the most promising one in our class. I smiled and stayed quiet. While we were chatting, Elena and Marcus arrived. Kathy joked, Elena, is this your boyfriend? He's so handsome. Everyone gathered around. They seemed to be praising Marcus's good looks, but they were really complimenting Elena's good taste. Marcus looked extremely happy with all the gushing. I just quietly stayed in my corner. After a few drinks, everyone got a little tipsy. Someone brought up our school days, and the conversation moved to Elena. I heard Elena never dated in school. Is that true? It's true. Doesn't seem like it. Elena gave a lazy smile. So, what do you think I should be like? A woman who plays around? Kathy chimed in with a playful laugh. I can confirm she really didn't date. Wow, Elena used to be quite innocent, like genuinely innocent. Kathy, who was tipsy and excited, added, although she didn't date, she had a crush on someone and even wrote him a love letter. I froze, and my chopsticks dropped food back onto my plate. Everyone was intrigued. Elena writing a love letter? Marcus turned to Elena, seeking confirmation. She casually admitted, yeah, that happened. I kept my head even lower. With everyone's curiosity completely sparked, Kathy slowly revealed, I remember that night. Elena didn't sleep, used a dictionary, and got a pink envelope ready beforehand. Yeah, she drew on it with an awkward heart. Oh my gosh, what kind of guy gets Elena to write a love letter? Must have been a real looker. Kathy shook her head. No idea. I never saw him either. I just remember Elena saying she had a crush on him for 3 years. Unbelievable. Then Kathy seemed to remember something and turned to look at me. Liam, you went to middle school with Elena. Do you know who it is? Everyone looked at me, curious and waiting. Except for Elena, who just looked indifferent, like a silent warning. I understood the hint and said, I don't know either. With some alcohol in them, people started getting bolder. They pressured Elena with questions. Elena, come on, tell us. Yeah, Elena, share with us. They say first loves are unforgettable. Do you remember him? Amidst the chatter, Elena lit a cigarette and simply said, Already forgot. After the meal, the night continued. Elena booked a private room at a club. Everyone gathered around, playing games. I wasn't feeling well, but I couldn't find an excuse to leave. Elena hated when people left halfway through her events, especially me. She once said she wanted me by her side, even if I were dying. If she was staying, so was I. I reluctantly joined the games. Luck was not on my side, and I was chosen quickly. I had to pick a girl and share a cookie with her. I looked around. Elena was chatting with Marcus, both of them laughing. I skipped over her and looked to my left. Kathy, are you willing? Sure, I'm single. How about you? I hesitated. I'm single too. My relationship with Elena didn't count, technically. The crowd cheered us on, almost shouting the roof down. Kiss, kiss! Old classmates meeting up, bound to create sparks. Amid the noise, I picked up my end of the cookie, about to take a bite, when a sharp sound interrupted us. Elena had smashed a glass on the floor. Oops, it slipped from my hand, she said with a blank face. I'll get a waiter to clean up. No, now, she insisted. The game had to stop. Once everything was cleared, Elena casually suggested starting a new round, and the host was ready to start dealing cards again. Hang on, I said. I haven't finished my dare yet. Elena's smile froze, and her eyes turned cold. Under everyone's gaze, I finished the cookie with Kathy. I pulled back right before the last piece, letting her finish it. She blushed, but no one else seemed to notice. Elena started drinking one glass after another, her grip tightening around the glass until her knuckles were white. By the end of that whole ordeal, I felt exhausted, slumping onto a chair. The pain in my tooth had spread to my head. No wonder they say a toothache can feel like the worst pain imaginable. I couldn't stay anymore. While Elena was taking a phone call, I hurried over to her. Elena. Once she was done, I said, I think I need to go home. Something wrong? Her voice was colder than usual. I'm not feeling great. Where does it hurt? Toothache. Got a headache, too. She laughed with bitterness. Liam, do I look like an idiot to you? You seemed completely into your turn during the game. It looked like you wanted everyone to pay attention. Do you think you can just skip out without fulfilling your obligation to me? And you're already trying to find a girlfriend? Did I give you permission? She looked at me with a dark emotion in her eyes, and her smile turned even colder. If you leave, does that mean Kathy's leaving too? No, I tried to explain. I've just not felt well all night. It's getting worse. I just need to rest. Elena marched over, grabbed my chin with one hand, and forced my mouth open with the other, sticking her fingers inside. I stared at her in shock, shaking my head, trying to signal her to stop. The private room was right there. Our friends could walk out at any time and see this. It would be impossible to explain. But Elena ignored my warning. Her rough fingers, not those of a pampered princess, clumsily poked around inside my mouth. No swelling. You're pretending, she said, removing her fingers with a thin line of saliva hanging from them. Stay inside until I'm done for the night. Then you can leave. I really am hurting. Then hurt until you drop dead for all I care. Elena stormed back toward the room, but her words snapped something inside my head. As she turned, I collapsed to the floor. Elena's mind went completely blank. All she remembered was stumbling around, her thoughts racing. She nearly forgot she had been drinking. It was the driver who first stepped in and prevented a disaster. When the driver helped me over to the doctor's, she realized her arms were shaking. What nonsense had she just yelled? Oh yeah, then hurt until you drop dead. Elena's eyes became red, and her nails dug deep into her own flesh. If anything serious happened to Liam, she couldn't bear the thought. In those 6 years, she had been consumed by her hatred for him. so much so that she dreamt of him every single night, enough to call out his name when she was alone, seeking some strange comfort. And on the streets, if she caught a glimpse of someone with a similar build, she would lose control for a moment. Elena remembered one time she had dozed off in the car. The driver had said, "Boss, you were mumbling someone's name." "What?" she had asked. "A guy's name. Must be someone you really care about to say it even in your sleep." The driver was new then and didn't know how easily she could get angry, so he was trying to make a joke. That day, Elena had thrown a complete fit, seemingly just to prove something. It wasn't love. It was hate. So why was she acting like this now? Shouldn't she feel a sense of relief? Why did her heart ache painfully, like she might throw up? The doctor came out. Elena quickly caught a glimpse of his name tag. His name was Dr. Harris, and it seemed he knew me. When I brought Liam over just now, this guy, Dr. Harris, said, "Is it Liam? Then let me handle it." Elena stepped up and asked, "How is he?" "He passed out because he hasn't been getting enough rest. He probably has long-standing sleep problems. And his mouth? He has a wisdom tooth that just needs to be removed." Elena let out a huge sigh of relief. She knew I would be okay. I had to live. That was the only way her mix of love and hate could have a person to focus on. "Who are you?" Dr. Harris continued the conversation. "Girlfriend." "He has a girlfriend? I never heard him mention that." Dr. Harris was surprised and murmured, "He shouldn't be giving up on treatment if he has someone." "What did you say?" "Oh, since you're Liam's girlfriend, you need to strongly encourage him to come to the hospital for further treatment." Elena was a bit confused. "Treatment? You didn't know? Liam's cancer can't be put off anymore." Elena's mind went blank. She thought she misheard. "Sorry, I didn't understand you." "Not told, huh? I guess he really plans to give up." Dr. Harris sounded a bit sympathetic, saying, "While he's still unconscious, come with me." He led Elena into his office and showed her a bunch of ultrasound images. "See, this is Liam's ultrasound report. Here, it shows a suspected malignant tumor." Dr. Harris tried to keep his voice gentle. "For the past 6 months, I've been urging him to come in for surgery, but he said he's decided to forego treatment. You know about Liam's mother, right? She died from the same illness. After his mother passed away, he was left with no family, no savings, and was always grieving. That's why he wants to end it all." Elena listened, feeling like she might collapse. She only heard about my mother's death after dropping out of school. To protect me, only a few teachers at school knew about my family situation. That's why she never heard a single word about it. Liam has no family left. Elena felt a sharp bitterness inside. She even regretted leaving home at that time. "So, doctor, what is his current condition?" Elena pressed on. "It's not clear. Surgery is needed to find out." As the conversation was ending, Dr. Harris told her, 6 years ago, I was just an intern helping a senior doctor. We took care of Liam's mother back then. Later, I was transferred to City B. I never thought I would run into Liam again. Talk to him. Don't let him give up because of a chocolate cake." A chocolate cake? That was his mother's last wish. Dr. Harris sighed. Her final wish was a supermarket chocolate cake, but they truly had no money, couldn't even cover the hospital bills. Dr. Harris didn't notice the sudden paleness on Elena's face as he said the last sentence. That little cake became a painful regret in the young man's heart. When I woke up, the ultrasound report was clenched tightly in Elena's hand. I knew I couldn't hide the truth anymore. Elena's eyes were red, but it was different from before. It wasn't the kind of red when emotions are out of control. She genuinely looked like she had been crying. Liam, can I ask you something? Her voice was hoarse. Sure, ask. Did your mom ever get that chocolate cake in the end? No. Elena went silent. She seemed to need something to distract herself from breaking down. She started peeling an apple, but she was shaking too much and nearly cut her finger. Why didn't you ever tell me? That chocolate cake, it's important to you. Telling you, would it make you forgive me? It would. Then there's even less reason to tell you. I smiled a little and explained. I have tons of reasons, but none of them justify hurting you, nor are they reasons for your forgiveness, because your life is equally important. The small fruit knife slipped, and she finally did cut her hand. Blood ran down onto the white sheets, a glaring red color. Elena didn't react. She seemed numb to the pain. Liam, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have been harsh with you. I shouldn't have doubted you. I shouldn't have tried to anger you with Marcus. Don't apologize to me. I'm the one who should apologize to you first. No, it's my fault. Marcus and I never actually had anything. I only went after him to test you, but now I regret it. I was such an idiot. I should have realized sooner. Elena hung her head, her shoulders shaking. Her voice was muffled with sobs. It was the first time I had seen Elena like this. So humble, so full of regret. I chuckled. Don't be like that. It's not like you. Liam, I'll be with you for the treatment. I froze. Treatment? She finally met my gaze. Yes. Dr. Harris said there's hope to cure it. I'll be with you always. Don't worry about the medical bills either. Honestly, I really don't want the treatment. The memory of how much pain my mother endured is still fresh in my mind. She went through so much suffering, yet she still left this world in pain. But Elena was determined. I knew that nothing I could say would change her mind. So I forced a smile and agreed warmly. All right. Elena stayed by my bedside until the next afternoon when she got a call from work. A meeting required her to be there in person. I guess because I agreed too easily, she didn't think much of it or leave anyone to watch over me. She had just left when I quietly slipped away. I went back to the dorm first. Marcus was there too. It turned out that neither Elena nor I had returned until the party ended last night. I hesitated, thinking about whether to explain. But Marcus spoke up first. Liam, those love letters Elena wrote back then, they were for you, right? I was taken aback. How do you know? Marcus was casually shining his new watch. I've seen enough women to recognize those kinds of things. It would be a waste if I couldn't. Then why did you agree to see her? For fun, he replied indifferently. At first I wanted to see if I could attract her. You two weren't a couple, so what if I succeeded? Later I realized her heart was completely focused on you, so I gave up. But hey, she would get me watches just for playing along, so it wasn't a loss for me. Marcus never hid his love for money, but he also never wasted time on women who didn't truly like him. Oh, by the way, help me thank Elena. Thanks to her, I've found my next target. Who? He pointed to a business card on the table. The name looked familiar. It's that new business owner from last night's party. Financially, he's just as successful as Elena. Marcus, thanks for telling me, but you should thank Elena yourself. What's the matter? Did you two have a fight? Instead of answering, I asked, Can you not tell her you saw me today? Marcus looked at me seriously for a moment. Sure, but I am curious about one thing. Go ahead. Liam, how could you introduce someone you like to me? After I finished packing up my dorm things, I rushed to the train station. I bought the next ticket on the fast train home. I turned off my phone so Elena couldn't find me. All the way, Marcus's words echoed in my head. Elena is someone I like. Really? Do I like her? Have I been with her for 6 months just to repay some debt I owe? A hidden feeling seemed to have been exposed by Marcus. 3 hours later, I arrived home. The southern town was as humid as ever. I walked down the familiar streets, eating all the foods I used to love. It felt like I was saying goodbye to the world. My old high school had been remodeled. It looked very impressive now. I walked the familiar path from the school gate back home. Halfway, someone suddenly greeted me. "Liam, is that really you?" "Mrs. Wilson, long time no see." Mrs. Wilson used to live next door to us. She was an electrician for the city's construction office. I asked, "Are the streetlights getting an upgrade?" "Yep, the last time was 7 years ago." I remembered that. Back in my first year of high school, the lights here were very dim. One day after school, suddenly they were bright, lighting up the way home. Speaking of which, back then, the bulb replacement was pushed by a girl from your school. What? That girl came to our office, insisting we change the bulbs on this street. She came back for several weeks. I remember that, another worker chimed in. The boss got so frustrated he finally agreed. Finding this amusing, I laughed and said, "I didn't know you could do that." Yeah, when replacing the bulbs, Elena was enthusiastically helping. My smile froze. Wait, who? Elena, from your school, the one who dropped out later. Right, did you all know? The worker started gossiping. That girl changed the bulbs because a boy she liked lived on this street. Wow, really? Which boy? I know almost every kid on this street. How would I know? The workers chatted rapidly, putting together a past I never knew. I stepped forward and asked, "Mrs. Wilson, can I have one of those old bulbs?" "Sure, but what for?" "My aunt's old house doesn't have anyone living there. It's not worth buying new bulbs. I think these might still work." "Sure, take one." After my mother passed, I stayed at my aunt's house. Her family had moved to the big city years ago, leaving the house empty. I only stayed there when visiting for my mother's grave. My aunt's house is empty. In fact, with the development over the years, there are hardly any residents left on this street. Once busy, it now felt deserted. I grabbed a small stool, planning to replace the bulb. Then I noticed some writing on the base of the bulb. Years of rain and sun had blurred the words, which is why Mrs. Wilson hadn't noticed. There were 3 letters, L-I-A-M. My heart skipped a beat. I knew that handwriting all too well. Elena still writes like that. The bulb still worked, though it wasn't as bright as it once was. I just stared at it. It was like looking back at my 16-year-old self. Back then, during those times that almost destroyed me, someone loved me more than she loved herself. I stayed at my aunt's house for 2 days. Every night, I dreamt of my mother. Her smile was as gentle as ever. I tried to hold her. I wanted to tell her so much, about how I grew up, about my pain. But in the end, what I managed to whisper was, "Mom, I want to live." I almost woke myself up. I had come back intending to say goodbye. But now, because of Elena, I am thinking of wanting to live? How did that happen? Before I could figure it out, my body was already moving. I grabbed my bag and ran out, back to City B, to find Elena. I wanted to tell her that at 16, I liked you too. The wind was loud in my ears, and my muscles ached from the run, but I didn't feel tired at all. Passing by the high school gate, I suddenly saw a familiar red sports car. Elena stopped quickly. "Liam, where are you trying to run off to now?" She ran toward me, and her shape overlapped with the memory of her from our youth. This time, I didn't turn away. "I'm not going anywhere, Elena. I was just about to find you. This time, I'm the one running towards you." Epilogue. Elena found me quickly thanks to our old classmates. After hearing I had left the hospital, she first asked Marcus. Marcus initially didn't admit he had seen me, but when he heard I was sick, he told her the truth. However, Marcus didn't know where I went after that. Kathy also helped with the search, grumbling along the way, "If you had just said he was the one you liked from the start, why did I even share cookies with him?" Elena kept silent. "I see why you broke the glass. You didn't want us eating the cookies." "Well, can't deny they tasted good. Still the flavor from childhood." Elena snapped. "Can we stop talking about those stupid cookies?" They asked some other classmates, promising to let them know the moment they got in contact with me. And by the next night, they had news. "My mom saw Liam yesterday." That was a slightly heavier set girl from the class next door back then. Her mom was an electrician in our hometown. She wasn't accepted into college, followed in her mom's footsteps, and stayed as an electrician. Elena drove all night on the highway, not getting any sleep. Finally, she made it to that southern town by morning. Thankfully, I wasn't running away anymore. I said I wasn't planning to go anywhere. I just wanted to catch a train back to City B to find her. Elena couldn't remember what she said in response. All she recalled was a long kiss. I had returned her feelings. That small change removed all of Elena's fatigue and made her incredibly excited. Back in City B, I immediately prepared for surgery. I was nervous. So nervous I couldn't sleep the night before. Elena stayed with me the whole time. I asked, "What if I die?" "I'll find a spiritual expert to perform a ceremony for you." "To send me off?" "No, to turn you into a ghost and keep you with me until I die." That was so like Elena. Only she could come up with that idea. I turned over and snuggled into her. "Just in case something goes wrong tomorrow, there's something I want to tell you." "What is it?" "I used to like you too, ever since you saw me home that day." Elena was stunned for a moment, holding me even tighter. "Then let me tell you something too. I've always liked you, never stopped." Elena later thought about it for a long time. Why did she confess to a crime she didn't commit? Even when her father beat her up, leaving her covered in blood, she maintained her innocence. Probably because deep down, she always had a voice saying, "Liam had his reasons. She didn't hate me for lying about her. She only hated herself for not confessing her love sooner. If she had, she could have officially bought that little cake for me." Of course, there was something else Elena hadn't mentioned. If I really did die, besides the ceremony, she had a plan B. She would die with me. Elena didn't see it as a romantic tragedy, nor did she think she was being overly dramatic. It was just pure love, enough to die for, to prove her undying commitment. She was a little bit obsessive at heart. Otherwise, she couldn't have climbed to her successful position in just 6 years. The next day, I underwent surgery. The pathology results came back quickly. Dr. Harris's eyes were shining. "Elena, here's something amazing. Liam's nodule might just be a nodule." "What?" Elena was stunned. "The quick frozen test during the operation shows it's not malignant." Dr. Harris was excited. Even though his initial tests were bad, with all signs pointing to cancer, the pathology is the most accurate conclusion. It's not the first time this has happened. A highly suspected cancerous growth turned out to be a benign nodule. Elena's heart was about to burst with relief. "You're saying he doesn't have cancer?" The accuracy of the quick frozen test during surgery is as high as 90%. We still need to do a full pathology to confirm.
I want to kill their attack.
A few days later,
And,
the full pathology
he pushed,
results were good.
So I pushed back.
The danger was completely gone. A few more
Matters is I
days,
killed him first.
and I was discharged.
I come around.
There you go.
You have a family history, so you should follow up
Got my
regularly,
LV up to 25.
Dr. Harris advised.
Very nice.
Elena
very
was the
nice.
first to agree. Yes, doctor, I'll make sure to bring him in. Dr. Harris smiled. Congratulations, Liam, on starting a new life. I broke down and cried happy tears.
Smoke.
When I thought the world had given up on me, I discovered that someone
smoke?
actually cared. And it wasn't just one person. At the hospital door, Marcus and his new girlfriend brought gifts to pick me up. They all went to Elena's place to hang out, to lift my spirits after the hospital stay. It wasn't until late that night that everyone finally left. I was a bit tired, but also very happy. Elena tidied up the mess and held me close. Elena, I'll have a scar on my neck. So what? Do you care?
I didn't think theirs was gonna
Elena
go.
laughed. I've seen you at your worst. Why worry
I don't
about
know
this?
how I saved that.
Hearing that, I laughed too.
Oh no,
Those
the
feelings
heli
that had tormented me
killed
for
him.
so long could
But I was hoping
finally
that,
be
I was
faced
gonna be able to
lightly,
save the little boat
even in a
before it hit the
joke.
ground.
Oh,
Elena kissed my
I was trying to
palm
take it from him.
and said sincerely,
Wait a minute.
Liam.
Those are my words?
I love you. From the first moment I met you at 14, I've loved you.
Don't let me
That
down.
hungry 14-year-old girl wandering the streets.
Game
It was
changer.
I
Ruthless right
who
now.
bought her a piece of bread. Later on, I changed so much, grew so tall, and my features matured. She didn't recognize me. But it didn't matter, as long as she remembered. And she would always remember. From here on, life is a long journey. She would replace the
Have the
whole
AA
world
before I had him blocked.
and love me with
Why
all her
isn't-
heart.
Why isn't Possessed streaming? I don't know. Why isn't Possessed streaming?
I don't know yet. I just haven't hit live yet. That's all.
Attention all units. Mission is still on target. Good work.
honestly, why I like the attack better is I don't get bullied by fucking machine guns as much.
Be advised, the enemy have captured Bravo.
None.
Yeah, I get that. That's understandable.
The enemy have captured Bravo.
I figured I'd go live a little bit later. Sign. The big ass window behind me makes everything bright as shit in the room.
Damn it. Oh, did you get in with him?
Yeah, sadly. He got his music on.
Yeah, I shut it off.
On. What happened? What I miss?
We're talking about this dweeb of a pilot that has music on. Their little bird's
their
dead,
little
they're
bird-
attacked,
yep,
yeah.
yep.
Did Streamer have a haircut? I got a couple of them cut.
Hey, can we, like, not?
Visual confirmed on an enemy helo bearing west. I like it. Helo down. All units, mission is still on target. Good work.
Effect? Oh.
I didn't have any rockets. Sad.
Yes, I did go get a haircut this morning.
Fucking lame, dude.
Low bird's at 60 right